Hi everyone, Matt McLaughlin, Fusion Program Director here with Eric Mihan, owner of Bangor Wine and Cheese, and one of our nominees for the Fusion Innovator of the Year Award. Eric, thank you for having us here today in your store and for speaking with us.
Absolutely, thank you, Matt.
So tell me a little bit about the business Bangor Wine and Cheese and how you guys ended up coming to Bangor.
Right on. My wife is from Bangor, so we did our 20s down in my home state of New Jersey, where I started out actually as an opera singer, and then made a move into specialty goods and wine in the mid-20s, and really fell hard in love with it, and learned fast, and started doing tastings and presentations, classes for Princeton University, for instance, things like that, and realized that there was a real lack of even basic understanding of finer beverages, wine, beer, spirits, just in general. And so in an effort to sort of fix that, I offered a lot of classes independently, like I said, private tastings, things like that. Upon learning that Bangor Wine and Cheese was for sale in 2009, my wife and I, looking to sort of make a move and find a more hospitable environment for our new family, pulled the trigger, bought the shop, and I sort of went back to my, educating the public through better retail, and that's fine. But I noticed that there was a real lack of sort of a classroom learning environment wherein somebody could actually partake of alcohol in limited quantities, learning about it, but tasting as they go, which is really the only way that you can talk about something. It's, when they're doing gross anatomy in medical school, you actually have to dissect a cadaver. You can't just talk about it. It's not just some philosophical thing. So I struck upon the idea to do something about it, and we're sitting in it.
Yeah, we are literally underneath Bangor Wine and Cheese right now, and Eric was nominated, you were nominated for your wine underground classes, and they've really brought a real innovative and creative spin to Bangor. So tell us a little bit about those classes and how they got started and what you do.
Well, it's funny. I'm very honored to be nominated for Innovator of the Year Award, and I find it amusing that it might be for something as old-fashioned as teaching people about something great. And I actually think where the innovation happened that people don't know about is in convincing the state to let me do this. In the state of Maine, there's basically 2 licenses that people know about wherein you can consume. One is a restaurant or bar where you're consuming what we call on-premise. And another is something like my store, which is consuming off-premise, but you're purchasing the alcohol. And I didn't want to do either of those things. I didn't want to be a bar, I didn't want to be a store, because they come with their own set of legal regulations that it wasn't the point. So I stumbled across a license called a bottle club, which had basically fallen into disuse, but the parameters of the license allowed any member to consume on the premise of the bottle club anything that another member brought, and provided you are a member of the bottle club, there's basically no regulations over and above that. So I set up a framework of how I wanted to charge people for this and go about doing the classes, and I proposed it to the state, and their heads spun around because they don't like surrendering control of anything like that. But essentially, I came out on top. There was a famous meeting I was told about wherein all the state inspectors met about my proposal, and I guess at one point somebody threw their hands up and said, "Gosh, I don't see how we can stop it." To which I responded, "You wanted to stop me from educating the public about beverages. That makes a lot of sense, and stop somebody from increasing their business, growing the business. Well done." But they didn't stop me, and so I think to me that's sort of where the innovation came. This part, now that it exists, is just fun. It's just the gravy. Like, I already knew about wine, and it's such a joy for me to share it with other people. But that said, I do try to continually learn more myself and enable myself to be a better teacher. We also bring in special guests on a regular basis, people who have been in the industry for years and years and years. So
Well, we're glad to have you here, and we're definitely glad you pushed forward and made their head spin and everything like that, because innovation is really key to the growth of our region. What do you think of when you think innovation, and why is it so important to our region, and particularly the city of Bangor?
I think innovation is the last great hope of America. Without young people, not necessarily young people, but anybody of any age, trying to, not to use cliches over much, but think outside the box, try to find existing parameters of any, whatever business you're in or whatever business you want to get in, and see what clever ways you can stretch them, see what niches aren't being filled, and fill them. That's what made America great in the first place, and unfortunately, not to sound all political, but sometimes overregulation has stifled business, and I think it's the job, the duty of the innovators out there to fight against that, to ruffle a few feathers, and to help places like Bangor grow. And I think there's no other reason other than the pushing of this innovative class that we're seeing Bangor grow like it is. There's no way you grow a city in 5 years like it's grown without people pushing hard.
Right.
So that's what I think.
Nice. Well, one out-of-the-box question for you, Eric. Obviously, you're known for all the wine that's here. So if you could go to any country in the world and make wine, what country would it be and why?
That's a super interesting question. I think I would probably go to Spain. For a couple of reasons. A, there's a lot of places in Spain where there are less rules concerning what wine, what grapes have to go into what, and this and that. But also, it's a killer place to live. And sadly, because their economy is not so good, you can live very favorably,
Yes.
And you can also find vineyard land very favorably. So if I was really serious about doing that, I would look there because there's still untapped resources.
Nice, very good. All right, well, that's Eric Mihan, nominee for Innovator of the Year at this year's Fusion Awards Extravaganza, which will be on Thursday, November 15th from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Bangor waterfront. Get your tickets, they are on sale now, and come and see if Eric does indeed win.